Have you recently started living alone and it wasn't your choice? Yep, me too. And it's not fun. Whether it's because of a horrible breakup, a divorce, or because you lost your partner, this new chapter of your life probably feels scary and overwhelming. I used to be this person who thought that everything in my life is sorted, it's all safe, and it's all smooth, and it's all predictable, that I have my husband, that I have my financial security, and that life is going just to be the same. But here I am, starting over, living solo. I'm still adjusting and I'm still healing, but I feel like I am several steps ahead of where I used to be a few months ago. First, I want to tell you, you're not alone. There are millions of us, and there were millions of us, and there will be millions of us walking that path. So you are definitely not alone. I know that your new situation feels overwhelming and scary, and most likely there are two components to it. Grief alone is a whole separate mountain to climb, and I'm not gonna even go there today. Let's talk about that another time. Today, I would like to offer you some hopefully helpful tips, things that really helped me when I was going through my darkest days, and things that helped me in adjusting to my new life. First, whatever you're feeling now, whether it's grief, sadness, anger, loneliness, hopelessness, or numbness, that's okay. It will pass, it will change. Treat yourself with love, treat yourself with the same kindness that you would treat your best friend or someone that you love dearly. I promise you this feeling will soften as you go through it. However, at the moment, just be very gentle and very kind to yourself. There will be better days, there will be worse days. You will take a few steps forward and then you will fall back a little bit, and that's okay. Because healing and going through this, it's not linear. So just remember that. I think it's extremely important. It really helped me. And I know that research backs it up, that as you're going through this massive uncertainty and massive change, it's very important to create routines in your life, particularly a morning routine and the evening routine. Even if you're not a routine person, this will create some sort of safety and stability for you. And when things are so uncertain and so new and so scary, having those helpful routines will give you something to look forward to. It will make you feel like you have a purpose in your life, at least a glimpse of a purpose, and it will create a sense of certainty in your life when things are very uncertain. Make sure that your routines include things that you like. For example, what really helped me massively as I was going through my darkest days was journaling in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee, and then exercising, going either for a walk or walking. I have a gym at home, so walking on a treadmill. And while I was doing this, I was watching YouTube channels from creators who I resonated with because they went through something similar in their life. And I got very inspired and very motivated, because that's when I really saw that, I'm not the only one. I was feeling extremely lonely, extremely. And I thought that my situation is so unique and so bad that it's just impossible to get through. However, I noticed that everyone that I resonated with had their own version of it. Maybe it wasn't exactly like mine, but they had their own version of it, and they pulled through, they recovered, they healed, they started over, they even started enjoying their life at some point, and that gave me massive hope and courage. So I truly encourage you to do that morning routine, especially that how you set yourself up, how you set up your mornings really will carry on through the day. And energetically, if you start your morning right, you will feel better for the rest of the day. And also evening routine. Now that we come to the evening, I think evenings are very important too, because evenings is when it gets really scary, right? I'm not sure if you can relate, but I always found that when I was going through my darkest days, and even today, everything always looks scarier, darker, and more depressing in the evening. And that's mostly because we are tired. Our bodies are tired, our minds are tired, And it's very easy to focus on negative thoughts and overthink things and get anxious and worry, particularly about the financial situation, all the uncertainty that's going on. Stop this. This is very important. Nothing is going to happen overnight. Whatever you're going through, it's still going to be there the next day. Overnight, nothing is going to change. So why don't you just do something nice for yourself and relax? Do something that puts you in a beautiful state of relaxation, whether it's having a bath with a candlelight and reading a book, whether it's watching a fun series. I really recommend watching a comedy in the evening, or revisiting those, old TV series that you used to watch when you were a kid or a teenager. I started to watch that. I started to feel more safe, and it took my mind off things. Another thing that I discovered, which was kind of counterintuitive in the evening, I started going out for walks, and I started looking at people's houses. I could see how they're getting ready for dinner, how the family sits around the table. And I thought that should probably make me feel worse, right? They have this beautiful life and I am alone and I have no one. However, it started to feel comforting for me that there are all these houses on the street and there are all these people living there. And I'm not alone. I can always go and reach out if I really need it. And it just made me feel like a part of community, even though I wasn't. I was just some stalker looking at the windows. So think about it a little bit. What would really relax you? What I found very beneficial was rearranging my space. Even though I will be moving, downsizing soon, I still made some changes at home. I moved my bedroom. I just didn't want to sleep in the same bedroom that we slept with my husband because it had too many memories, and it was very triggering and painful. I also took away several objects and I replaced them with some new throws, blankets, new cushions. I experimented with new colors. This is your time to get creative. You don't have to spend much money at all. I basically bought everything super cheap, but it really created the sense of fresh energy, You can also move around your furniture. And if you're staying in your current place, if you won't be moving, then you can get more creative and more wild and, for example, repaint the walls and introduce some changes that are truly reflecting you and how you want to live. Even though you might feel like isolating now as you're going through this massive shift, I truly recommend, and trust me, I'm a massive introvert and I'm a recluse, and yet I recommend push yourself out of the house at least for an hour a day. Go out and talk to new people. Sure, it's very important to stay connected to your true friends and family, but only if you really truly want to and if they make you feel better. You see, I actually disconnected from most of my friends because I never wanted to talk about what's happening or what did happen. I wanted to talk about anything but. I only stayed really in touch with my mom, and I found it extremely helpful to get out of the house and meet new people that have no history with me, have no history with my spouse, and the theme that connects us is common interest. I started a few creative things like painting recently, which I never done before, and I never thought I would be interested or good at it, but I found it very soothing. Now it's time to start rediscovering joy, one small step at a time. Make a list of little things that give you pleasure and indulge yourself at least once a day. They can really be small things like having a coffee on your balcony and not rushing anywhere. Think about things that you used to enjoy. I know that now you might feel like your life has no purpose, no meaning, and what's the point? But it's going to change. It's not going to always feel like that. Maybe reconnect with yourself, who you used to be before you met your partner, before you started your life as an adult. What did you enjoy doing? What were your hobbies? Did you enjoy writing? Maybe it was gardening, dancing, or maybe you always wanted to have a pet. Maybe it's time you start traveling or walking. Walking won't solve everything, but it definitely will help. And also on traveling, I always traveled with someone. I was quite nervous about traveling on my own, being somewhere new, in a new culture on my own, particularly in Asian countries. Now I pushed myself and did it for the first time. And I discovered that I actually love it, that Everything that I felt before, it's completely different now. That was huge for me, huge discovery. Not only that I love to travel by myself, but also that I want to do more of it. Because before, you see, I traveled, but I never really enjoyed it. I always felt like there's so much work involved in it, and the jet lag, and so much hardship. And now I actually love every aspect of it, including the jet lag. So there you go. Try something new and you might discover new you, because you have changed. You were a different person when you met your spouse. You were completely different when you started that relationship. So much has happened and so many adjustments had to be made, and you have been through so much and you have grown so much. It's time to reconnect with yourself and discover who you really are and who you really want to be and what sort of life you want to live. And again, be very patient, be very kind to yourself. You don't have to decide today. You don't have to have clarity. You don't have to anything. You can sit with that question. And as you sit with this question, you can have a little bit of fun when you will find some answers or when something surprises you. Just pay attention to it. The only thing that you really have to, in my opinion, is to not give up. Don't give up on yourself and don't stop showing up for yourself. Because at the end of the day, no matter who you were with or who you will be with in the future, or if you're going to remain solo, the truth is you will always have to live with yourself. So perhaps it's time to make yourself your best friend, and then you will never feel lonely, really. Think about it. It is true for me and it's true for others. Perhaps now is the time. Make it easy for yourself. It's really good to become your own best friend, because if you become your own best friend and you like your company, even if you are alone and maybe you will always be alone, then you will never feel that sense of empty loneliness, because you will have someone to enjoy spending time with, yourself. This life you didn't ask for, it still belongs to you, and I know it sucks and it's not what you wanted. But hey, you're still here. You still have a lot to offer to this world. So just enjoy this day today the best you can. Your situation is hard today, but this too shall pass. You can still laugh, you can love, you can explore, you can experience joy. Let yourself get a little curious about what's next. And you really are not alone. There are millions of us walking through this. Reach out for support. Let me know where you are. Let's walk through this together. Be kind to yourself. And I promise you, you are stronger than you think. The storm will pass. The sun will shine again, and you are not alone.